Thanks so much for joining me, Gillian Parague, Portfolio Officer, NCB Payments and Digital Channels Division. Hi, morning to you, Gillian.
Hi, Emily. Happy to be with you again.
Yes.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. Just want to make sure I got your last name pronounced correctly.
Yes, you did, with a little flair at the end.
With a little flair, after all. We say flary.
Yes.
Angelie Spencer, Shop Local. Wait, this is my Angelie, co-founder and advocate.
Emily. Oh! Hi, this is your Angelie. How are you, hon?
Very well. And you?
I'm great. Thank you. Very good. Thanks. How about you?
I'm very well. So let me start with you, Angelie, only because a lot of people may not know about Shop Local JA. You're the co-founder and advocate. Give me in a sentence what it's all about.
So Shop Local started for me last year when I actually reflected on the fact that there were so many people with whom I interact and who I know and whose businesses I support who were just struggling throughout the pandemic, and they depended heavily on this time of year, in particular, Christmas time, for sales and exposure and their services to be delivered. And that just was not happening for various reasons. They would have been accustomed to going out to markets and participating in markets, and all of that had been stopped. So I had the idea to just start an initiative where I would just use my platform, my voice, and my exposure to introduce and expose as many of these kinds of businesses as I could. Mm-hmm. But then it literally was an idea in my head that I mentioned to a friend of mine, M1 Productions, mm-hmm. Gervais Monroe, and then it just ballooned and ballooned because I was like, okay, what about an e-commerce platform? And so I called my friends at NCB, because I have many, and I said, what about this? Would you be interested in participating in this wonderful initiative and just building a community? And so that's been the birth of Shop Local. So we partnered last year and did a live show, and I myself was introduced to many new incredible Jamaican companies, entrepreneurs, artists, artisans who just needed to have this platform to just help them to make it through, and to stay afloat.
Right. So, Gillian, tell us now about the NCB Grant a Wish initiative.
Yes, Emily. So, as Angelie mentioned, so much is happening. We know this already. We're overwhelmed with the news every day. And for us at NCB, we thought, how can we, especially this Christmas season, help out anybody? So we have a whole heap of things happening under this Grant a Wish umbrella. Our foundation recently released many nominees from all over the island, healthcare, education, etc. They have various needs, and we want persons to go ahead and vote. So that is up on our grantawish.jncb.com. And then, of course, we couldn't leave out our businesses because, as Angelie mentioned, there's so much struggle around it. We have the stats. What does the stats tell us? So the stats tell us that most of our local businesses, this is from IDB, only had 2 months worth of cash reserves. 2 months, meaning 2 months of pay for their team members, 2 months of capital to get them through. So, for us at NCB, this is a big thing. We're Jamaica's largest bank, and we see ourselves as Jamaica's largest enabler in the financial industry, and our businesses keep our economy going. So we said, Shop Local, we started the partnership last year, and we said we could not pass up this opportunity to highlight our MSMEs and to partner with Angelie and her team on this. So we want to encourage persons to really tune in to what we're doing with Shop Local, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Mm-hmm. But what we're focused on is highlighting these merchants, these businesses who don't necessarily have a big marketing budget themselves, Yeah. How can we support them? And, I will talk a little bit more, but this is definitely what we're happy to be working on with Shop Local.
Yeah, so tell me how the MSMEs, what do they need to do? What is NCB doing, intending to do for them?
So what we just did in the last week, Emily, we closed off our call for participation. So we spoke to our merchant base. We did a general call out to all businesses in Jamaica to tell us if they want to be a part of what we have happening. So December 8th, we've dubbed it Shop Local Jamaica Day. And these merchants who signed up to participate with us will be advertising all their deals they're having for our customers. And Jamaica worldwide, Jamaicans worldwide, diaspora, wherever you are, you can support. Of course, it's enabled by our world-class e-commerce platform. So wherever you are, you have your Visa debit or your credit. You don't even need a credit card because, we have Visa debit and MasterCard debit options in the space. So you are now able to make your purchases. And we think of it as, Emily, if you have a grandaunt in the UK, maybe she wants to send you a gift and she can make this purchase while we are advertising our merchants. So this is something that we're really focused on. We also are highlighting our merchants in different avenues. Everybody doesn't shop online. We spoke about this before.
Just a second. Let me make sure I understand it. So you have an e-commerce platform, which is, describe, it's like a website?
Right. So so what we have done, many of our merchants already have their own websites, which we would have custom developed for them, and we enable them with our e-commerce solution, right? So you're able to shop online. I would have mentioned last time, Emily, some of the companies we already buy from, like a 7 Crave, or even when you buy you top up your toll online, the tag, that's powered by our e-commerce platform.
Yes.
So these merchants already have the access, and what we've done is bring them all together on this website, grantawish.jncb.com/shoplocal. We'll share it more widely. But this website, think of it as your hub, your one-stop shop for all of the Jamaican deals. We're supporting local.
Yes.
We're telling you what discounts you're getting, and then you'll click over to their websites and be able to make your purchase in one seamless place. Yes.
So those merchants, which are MSMEs, do they pay a fee to be using your e-commerce platform for sort of that outing?
So there's a fee generally, but what we've done is partner with our supplier to provide fee waivers for these small and medium-sized merchants who are coming on. We have specials going on. We have a special right now as well. If there's a small business or company that is thinking, maybe I should venture into the e-commerce space, we have a special going on right now for them as well. So we try our very best to be responsive to the market. As we mentioned before, we know it's a difficult time, but we want to enable our merchants with the e-commerce solution.
All right, let me go to a break. When we come back, Angelie, you'll just tell us then how your Shop Local JA, how you're using this e-commerce platform, what's the feedback you're getting from the people who are part of this platform, and what those who are not yet on it, what they can do in this NCB Grant a Wish initiative. Stay with us, please. Thank you, listeners. We're back with you on the hotline, and you're in the segment Inside Banking with NCB, rejoining Gillian Parague, Portfolio Officer, NCB Payments and Digital Channels Division, and Angelie Spencer, Shop Local JA co-founder and advocate. Yes, Angelie, tell us how your Shop Local initiative, how people are benefiting from using this e-commerce NCB platform.
All right. So let me first emphasize, Emily, to everybody who's listening, that this is not exclusive to NCB merchants at all. So if you are a vendor, a merchant, a creator, you are free to sign up for the Shop Local initiative for free, to be a part of the community, to be a part of the movement, but you do not have to be exclusively an NCB merchant. Let me just say that initially. So what this is, it's we want to shed light on all Jamaican businesses, those that are 100% Jamaican, that buy, build, manufacture, all Jamaican, but they're also just businesses in general. It's from the small lady my seamstress who used to work for me, who had to stop during COVID because there was no work to do. And by the time she finished making masks, that was it. There was no school uniform that you would normally do at the start of the year because there was no back to school. So it's the people who've lost all of that, up to merchants as large as Boss Furnishing, for example, who I work very closely with. We're a huge Jamaican company who manufacture right here in Jamaica, that employ many Jamaicans who were hit hard by COVID and had to hustle, wheel and come again in order to keep their employees employed. So it's for everyone. But what we're trying to do is to just get people, in lieu of just jumping on Amazon, and I hate to say names, or overseas company, just shop online freely. Why not? We want people to realize and recognize that there are so many Jamaican companies and individuals and products and services that are available right here that they can actually utilize, purchase, invest in Jamaica as opposed to overseas. Because if we build our entrepreneurship or businesses or MSMEs here, it contributes to the economy.
Economic growth, which has eluded us.
Has been hit terribly in the past 18 months, 20 months. And so together, us as vendors and merchants, combined with us as consumers, have to come together and support each other to help to rebuild the economy. So even with the Shop Local Jamaica website, we're getting there. We're getting to the point because there are lots of people, and I actually learned this last year, that a lot of the participants last year had their own e-commerce platform. And it was all kudos to them. There are others who've had to pivot and grow and go fully online because they just did not have the capability to have people come into them anymore. And so people are evolving, but there are some people who are still hesitant. There are some who can't afford it. So what we're trying to do is just to create platforms and avenues for those who can't afford their own e-commerce platforms.
But our Jamaican all the shop local people that you've represented who are merchants and so forth, do they, if 20% of the people who normally shop online were to target the local Jamaican merchants and put in their orders and so forth, especially for this Christmas season, do you get the impression from the merchants that they would be able to supply the demand from even the local market only, or we have a problem?
A lot of the companies do. They are in fact capable, and that is one of the biggest challenges. And I think that's actually also a fear of a lot of the consumers, why they feel that they're not at a state of readiness to go online. Because when you can control someone coming into your shop and they say, okay, I want X, Y, and Z, and they just purchase that, and then you restocking is difficult. The fact that with the limitations of even the curfews that we've just recently been kind of released from under, because that was another huge limitation, is that if you are a producer, you were restricted by the times that you could work, by the time that your staff could be at work producing. So we recognize that, but some people are and some people aren't. Some services are immediate, some are not. Some products are immediate, some can be for a later date, but most people are at a state of readiness. They at least have enough. And then it's interesting. We even have the opportunity, for example, for some of the vendors to be selected for complimentary space at the signature Market on the Lawn Christmas event, for example. So people who would usually they now have the opportunity to actually participate in something like a Market on the Lawn and bring their products out. So we're working with them, right? But what we really need them to do is for people to actually just join the community, come on board. We want to eventually have like training programs to help them to get comfortable with navigating their own e-commerce platform, even just for them to access grants and loans and that kind of thing to help their businesses to grow.
And so I'm so sorry, Angelie. So Gillian, you can then tell us what is attractive about NCB for those who are not yet on a platform and maybe considering getting onto one.
Oh, thank you, Emily. So for NCB, for me, and I am a little biased, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
So as somebody who I previously would have worked with quite a bit of startups, a lot of times you see the services, we've seen the foreign ones, right? Advertise, Shopify, etc. And this is specifically e-commerce. And oftentimes our question is, okay, how do I get started? And I think that is one of the main benefits with NCB. It's a very tailored approach for what you need. That's one of our biggest questions. It's not to just throw a blanket product at you, but to understand what does your business need. So maybe you are a delivery service. We saw with Ends, for example, a lot of these businesses or business types that we never thought we could just order for delivery, or we're so used to standing up by the pan chicken man, for example. But how can we tailor our e-commerce solutions to what your needs are? That's a big thing for us. And then additionally, Angelie mentioned training. So for us, especially going into the new year, we're focused on training our e-commerce merchants to be successful in e-commerce. And not to just know how to use a platform, accept your payments, but it goes broader than that. It's not enough to get you online. Now we need to make it thrive. So we've been doing digital marketing workshops. We're working on ensuring that they're always up to date with the trends in the space. So when I talk about value add, and actually working with our merchants, that's what we're focused on. And I think that's one of the benefits you get with us versus, a mass manufacturing type of, let me sign you up, let me get you in. So, we're really focused on training our e-commerce merchants, letting them be successful in digital space, especially those migrating from brick and mortar and ensuring that they are set up to win and thrive in the digital space.
All right. So I'm giving you an extra minute now because I was so late in coming to you. You can tell me to wrap up, Gillian. Anything else you want the listeners to know right after Angelie tells that to us over this shopping period? What especially do you want us to know, Angelie Spencer?
So I want everyone to know that December 8th has been designated as Shop Local Jamaica Day by NCB as part of their gratitude days. We want merchants to come on board, sign up, register, be a part of it, where you can offer deals. You can just let people be aware through the Shop Local Jamaica initiative and platform that they are out there and the products that they have. And I want everyone, before you jump online, before you start to go out, just know that on December 8th, we're pushing hard for everyone to just, as best as they can, shop local Jamaica in particular.
Gillian?
Yes, Emily. And finally, for me, I just want to leave us with one point of data because we're data driven, right? Mm-hmm. So the MSME sector, so the small businesses we know and love and we pass sometimes, they accounted for 80% of the jobs in the Jamaican market economy. What does that mean for us? 80% of the jobs, guys. That means whenever you buy from a small business, whenever you give support here locally, you're directly affecting jobs for our Jamaican economy. Think about that. Think about it when you're making your shopping. I know some people get paid within the next week or so. Look out for Shop Local. Shop Local JA on Instagram. grantawish.jncb.com/business if you want to sign up, and /shop local. The page goes live on Monday. And just remember, we have to take care of our own nation first. It is our responsibility.
Thank you so much. Good to have you, Gillian Parague, Portfolio Officer, NCB Payments Digital Channels Division at NCB. Thank you, Angelie Spencer, Shop Local GA co-founder and advocate. Have a great weekend, both of you.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Take care.